Thinking about grad school, there's one part of that application that can feel like it's totally out of your hands, the recommendation letter. But what if I told you it doesn't have to be? Honestly, you have way more influence over this thing than you probably realize. We've all been there. It's that moment, right? You've worked so hard, you've got a great relationship with a professor, but then asking them to, put their reputation on the line for you, that's a huge ask, and it is completely normal to feel a little anxious about it. But we're going to flip that script today. In this explainer, we are going to take that feeling of uncertainty and turn it into a real, solid game plan. I promise, by the end of this, you'll have a roadmap to not just get a letter, but to get a powerful endorsement that makes your application pop. We're going to break it down into three key parts. First, we'll talk about what a truly great letter even looks like. Then, we'll get into the strategy, the who, when, and how of asking. And finally, we'll cover how to build the perfect little package of materials to make it super easy for your recommender to write you a glowing letter. Okay, so let's dive in. Before you can even think about asking for a letter, you gotta know what you're aiming for, right? So let's start by defining what actually makes a recommendation letter, well, exceptional. And I want you to really let this sink in. A generic, kind of meh letter doesn't just do nothing for you, it can actually hurt your chances. Seriously. Admissions committees read hundreds, if not thousands of these things. A lukewarm letter just screams one of two things. Either this person doesn't know you that well, or they're just not that impressed. And the difference is just night and day. A generic letter, it just repeats facts they can already see on your resume or transcript. Yawn. But an impactful letter? It tells a story. It doesn't just say you're a good leader. No, it describes that one time you pulled a team together on a super difficult project. It paints a picture of you as a person, a future colleague, someone they absolutely want in their program. And look, the data totally backs this up. Over 60% of admissions committees say these letters are a very important factor. I mean, think about it. You've got a pile of applications with great GPAs and test scores. What's going to set you apart? A compelling, personal story from someone they trust. That's why. So the takeaway here is that the best letters are detailed, they're personal, and they're strategic. They give context, maybe even say you're in the top 5% of students they've ever taught, and they connect your skills directly to the program you're applying for. That's the goal, that's our destination. Okay, you know what a great letter looks like? Awesome. Now, how do we actually get one? This next part is all about the strategy behind the ask. The who, the when, and the how. Your whole strategy really boils down to three things. First, the who. Picking the right person is everything. You need someone who can talk about you with specific examples. Second, the when. Timing is all about being respectful and making sure they have time to do a good job. And third, the how. The way you ask shows your professionalism and just how much you value their help. And when we say ask early, let's put a real number on that. We're talking 4 to 6 weeks. That's the gold standard. Your professors are juggling a million things, teaching, their own research, other students. Giving them a month or more of lead time is just a professional courtesy that gives them the space to write something really thoughtful for you. But, okay, what if the deadline is creeping up and you haven't heard a peep? It is totally okay to send a short, polite follow-up about a week before the due date. A simple email saying something like, "Just wanted to check in and see if you need any other information from me," is a perfect, gentle nudge. It shows you're on top of things, not that you're being pushy. Okay, this is the big one. The one everyone fears. You work up the courage to ask, and the professor seems hesitant, or maybe they even give you a polite no. What do you do then? Please listen to this. A reluctant yes is so much worse than a polite no. If a professor seems hesitant, that's your cue. A forced yes is a one-way ticket to that lukewarm letter we talked about. The best thing you can do is thank them for considering it and move on. Go find someone who is genuinely excited to write about you. It's not a failure, it's a strategic retreat. All right, on to our final section. Let's talk about the single most powerful thing you can do to get a fantastic letter, preparing the perfect recommender package. Think of this as your toolkit to set them up for success, which, in the end, sets you up for success. Basically, you're making them a cheat sheet. You're doing all the legwork. You're giving them every deadline, your academic history, your personal statement, and, this is key, you're reminding them of specific moments or skills you'd love for them to highlight. You're not writing the letter for them, you're just giving them all the best ingredients. At the end of the day, it really just comes down to this. The easier you make it for them, the better your letter is going to be. Period.
A well-organized, thoughtful package shows that you respect their time. It lets them focus their energy on writing something amazing, not digging through old emails to find a deadline.
And here's a pro tip for you. Give them an application theme. It's just a simple one-sentence summary of your whole application. Something like, I'm an aspiring computational biologist who wants to use machine learning to research genomics. Boom. That gives your recommender a powerful lens to write through, and it makes sure their letter fits perfectly with the story you're telling.
Now, you might be thinking, okay, the letter is submitted, I can finally relax, right? Well, almost. There are a couple of final crucial steps that separate a one-time favor from the start of a real professional relationship. First, send a thank you note. An email is good, but a handwritten card, that's memorable. Second, and this is so important, close the loop. Let them know where you got accepted and where you decided to go. They took the time to invest in your future. Sharing the good news is a powerful way to show your appreciation. So as we wrap this up, I want you to stop thinking about this as just getting a letter. Start thinking about it as building your professional network. This whole process is about turning a classroom relationship into a lasting professional connection. The great recommendation letter is really just the beginning. So the real question is, who's the first person you're going to add to that network?